If you have ever felt overwhelmed trying to make the perfect routine or maybe try to change your entire life overnight, me too. We'll start out by doing the most, wanting to change everything, but then we do so much that we burn out and then eventually return to old patterns. I'm not going to make a that girl routine or a 4 a.m. bootcamp or anything like that. This is a gentle, realistic way to create habits and structure without the pressure and without burning out. I'm sharing how I'm realistically building a routine, developing discipline, and using consistency in a way that works for me. And I will also be sharing my personal goals in this video. So why am I doing this? Trying too much too fast almost always leads to burnout. And that's exactly what happened to me. And that experience made me realize that I needed a new approach. So now I'm giving myself 365 days to create my dream life, slowly, intentional, and in a way that is sustainable. I did just post a video about this journey, why and how I'm doing it. This video is part of that journey and just one of many that I'll be sharing here on YouTube throughout the year. So if you want to know more and follow along, make sure you do. So how am I actually going to build a routine without overwhelming myself? I have learned that if I want something to stick, I can't force it or rush it. I have to move in a pace that feels good for where I'm at. And that means tuning in and listening to my body and mind every step of the way. That actually reminds me of a quote, and I can't remember who said it, but if you know, please let me know in the comment section. I would love to know. It says, "In a dark forest, you cannot see the end, but you can see your next step, so take it." It is such a powerful reminder that we don't need to have everything figured out. We just need to keep showing up one step at a time. And that is exactly what I'm doing, taking small steps one at a time and not trying to build Rome overnight. So instead of focusing on deadlines or specific goals for the future, I just want to take it week by week. The idea is to add weekly goals for myself until they turn into habits. And once these goals become habits, I'll have the space and energy to add more weekly goals over time. For example, I don't want to set a deadline for when I have to reach a certain amount of workouts a week, or by which date I need to have changed my entire eating habits, or anything like that. My only real commitment is to show up each week for the goals that I have set for myself in that week. And then after a week or maybe more, I'll sit down and reflect on if I feel like it is getting easier, if I feel like it is becoming a habit, then I'll add another workout to my weekly goals. And that is exactly how I'll create the routines and discipline that I dream of. I do need to mention, mostly for my own sake, that if I still only work out once a week in a year, that is still progress, because then I have been working out every week for a year. Showing up for myself, being consistent, creating discipline, and creating a routine that I'm proud of. If I want to build a healthy routine, I need to become disciplined. Discipline on its own isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up and being consistent. Because showing up and doing just a little every day, maybe even every week or every month, just doing something, showing up, will add up over time and get me closer to my dream life. So the weekly goals I'm starting out with is meditate for 10 minutes every morning. And I know that sounds like a lot, but for me it's actually doable. I have been meditating since I was a child, on and off though. I have a mom who's a yoga teacher, the best mom in the world. But the way I meditated when I was a child was not the way that I'm meditating today. I fell asleep to guided meditations from my mom, but at that time I didn't know that was a meditation. But it taught me really early how to be present, and that makes it so much easier for me when I want to take up meditating again. And now I have slowly been taking it up again, but not consistently. And I want to do it consistently because 10 minutes is actually not that long if I just take the time for it. And what meditation does for me is so much more beneficial than sleeping 10 minutes longer. The next one that I have put on my weekly goals, I already mentioned this one, it is that I want to work out once a week. And I have been working out once a week for almost 2 months already. And at the moment that seems doable, but it's still hard for me to get up because I work out before work. So it means that I have to get up at 5 a.m., get out the door, work out. But I also can't work out if I don't go to the sauna afterwards. Like, that is such a motivator for me to go. So yeah, it's still a hard task. And with my busy schedule, that is what is doable for me at the moment. And to add on that, That is also one of the reasons why I want to get up before 7 a.m. every morning, mostly on weekdays. Maybe I can sleep till 8 in the weekends. But the reason I want to get up before 7 is because I've had some days where I wake up later. For example, today I set my alarm for 7:30 and I ended up waking up at 8:30. This is not something that happens a lot, but it happens, but I don't want it to happen. So I want to create discipline, to create trust in myself, because right now I can't trust myself with my alarm clock. And it's so stupid. But it is as soon as I need to show up for myself, it gets hard. Like if I have a meeting or I need to be somewhere with someone, I'm there. And I'm there early. Like I can show up as soon as someone else expects me to. But when it's for myself, showing up for myself, I'm just not as disciplined as I would like to be. So a goal for me is to get up latest at 7 a.m. every morning. And I can't see any reasons why this is not possible for me. So that is why it's on my goals. And another one, this is actually a small one, but it's still a really big thing. Like to get up in the morning and just drink a glass of water. Get some water in my body. Yeah, I just want to drink a glass of water. I feel like it's good for me. Creating small rituals in the morning makes my day. It really does. For example, I love to light a candle when I go to the shower, even if it's just like a shower. I don't have a bathtub and I turn off the light. It's amazing. It feels like I'm in a spa. It's just such a holy ritual for me that I actually want to do it every time. The number of goals that I'm starting with and how challenging they are is based entirely on where I am in my life right now and what feels realistic for me. So these goals aren't easy for me, but they're not overwhelming either. They feel just challenging enough to gently push me out of my comfort zone and into the routines that I would like to build. If you're following along and you use this method to build better routines, I highly encourage you to take a moment to check in with yourself and ask yourself these questions. What feels easy for me right now? And what feels just challenging enough to help me grow without overwhelming myself? In the end of each month, I'll be doing a full review on how things are going for me, checking in on the goals that I have set for myself, what worked, what didn't, and how I felt along the way. Some month might feel really aligned and some might be really off. And that's okay. It's all a part of the process. Falling out of routine isn't failure. It's more a form of feedback. It's either a sign that the goals that I've set for myself have been too much for where I'm at, or maybe life just got in the way. So that's my plan. Setting intentional goals, staying consistent without pressure, and building a routine that I love. So if you're on your own journey, whether it's trying to make your own routines, maybe creating your dream life, or maybe you just want to follow along, I would love to hear where you are at, what your goals are, and what you're working on. So please let me know. Because again, I would love to feel like I'm doing this with somebody. And if you aren't already, make sure you follow along to see more videos like this. I will be sharing videos on my progress, the highs, the lows, and everything in between, but I will also be sharing videos of insights into my life, the changes that I make, the places I travel to, and much more. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye!